Good morning, all.
Morning, sir.
Yeah, able to hear me, right?
Yep.
Thanks for the confirmation. Okay. So last session we was just saw the introduction of screen. Once again, I'll quickly recap it. See, we know the login process and which client we are going to work, under which client we are going to work. What is the training client?
800.
800 client, right? In that 800 client, SAP is dedicatedly providing for practice purpose, training and education purpose. In that, SAP is provided predefined companies and company codes. Clear? So anytime in our practice, day-to-day practice, if we struck somewhere, so we can go to that particular predefined companies and company codes, predefined companies and company codes. So if we are stuck somewhere, we can go and we can check there. But it will take a lot of time. That's the reason people prefer to learn outside. Clear? So as long as we log in into the SAP, the first screen, what we get is that is called SAP Easy Access screen. Clear? There are two types of screens will be available in SAP. Will be there. One is end users screen. Next one, in the backend, we have a consultant screen. Clear? So whatever, as soon as we log in into SAP, so it will land us to a page called end user screen. And the end user screen, we can recognize it as a SAP Easy Access screen. So whenever you are in this particular screen, clear, which indicates that we are working in an environment called end user environment. Clear? End user in the sense already built application, already configured, the company or company code, all the settings are already configured, and the end user only ready to post the transactions, end user day-to-day activities. Clear? So that they can do it. Okay. So as I said that, so two screens will be there. One is SAP end user screen, SAP Easy Access screen, another one consultant access. So we will see our job is not this one, not on doing work on SAP Easy Access screen. Only testing purpose we use it. Okay, that too in quality server, that to SAP Easy Access and quality server, not on a production server as we saw earlier. Clear? But the consulting screen, whatever configuration screen will be there, that would be our agenda, the complete 9 months. Fine. So in this particular screen, as I said that as soon as we get the first screen, we call it as an SAP Easy Access screen. So it looks like this particular screen, end user screen, looks like same like our Microsoft application screen only. Clear? Similar. Okay, the first one on the top, whatever SAP Easy Access there, this we call it as an SAP menu, SAP menu bar, SAP menu bar. Okay, the first one. And the second line, whatever we are able to see here, whatever we are able to see, right? This is save button, right? Print button, search button. So here, this is called application toolbar, application toolbar, menu bar on the top, and next is application toolbar. Okay, sorry, this is standard toolbar. This is standard toolbar. Sorry, this is not application toolbar, it's a standard toolbar. Okay, and this is called title bar. SAP Easy Access, whatever we are able to see here, this we call it as a title bar. Clear? Menu bar, standard toolbar, title bar, and this is called on the bottom, whatever you are able to see after title bar, these are called application toolbars. What we call application toolbar. Okay, and this particular area, we call it as application area. See here. So this particular area, we call it as an SAP application area. Okay, and on the bottom left-hand side, we call it as a status bar. On the left bottom, status bar. Okay, this is called status bar. So till here, whatever we saw, it is similar to MS Office. Similar to MS Office. Clear? So extra thing what we have is this particular command field, this is called clear, this is called command field. Already we have discussed what is command field, correct? So what do you mean by command field? How many commands are there? Nothing but command field in SAP predefined transaction codes are there. Means transaction is nothing but moving from one application to another application, or this is called application, or we can call it as a screen, one screen to another screen, or one application to another application. So we have SAP predefined commands are there. In the same time, that commands we call it as in transactions or transaction codes. Clear? Commands or transactions or transaction codes. Clear? Any questions still here? Okay, so that transaction code normally in general usage we call it as a T codes. Clear? As I said that, which is by default across the globe, that would be the common T codes, right? Overall, as I mentioned earlier also, there are total SAP, all the modules, there are more than 65,000 transaction codes are there, right? If I take only FI, okay, finance module, we have more than 1800 transaction codes. End-to-end FI module, we have more than 1800 transaction codes. Any questions still here? Okay. And this particular, as we discussed earlier also, SAP navigation screen, SAP navigation menu, this particular SAP menu. Okay, this is called SAP menu is nothing but SAP navigation menu. And next one, this is called your favorites, whatever you are able to see favorites, it is nothing but user defined navigation menu. I'll show, already we have discussed how to create a user defined navigation menu, but again, once again, I'll show you this user defined navigation menu. Clear? Next. So on the bottom right hand, side, this is called status bar or status node in SAP terminology. In MS Office, we call it as a status bar, but here in SAP terminology, we call it as a status node. Remember this, status node. Okay, so what are the things we can see? What is the system, name of the system, client number, right? User, who is the user, which program we are working, what is the transaction, right? All those stuff, we call it as a status node. We will normally in MS Office, we call it as a status bar, but in SAP terminology, we call it as a status node. Is this clear? Any questions? So this is what we discussed in our last session, I believe. Yes, no?
Okay. All right.
Okay. Okay. So we are using here, right? I am using here two terminologies. One is application, another one is transaction, right? So here both are same. Application in the sense what this particular screen, we can call it as an application screen, or we can use it as a transaction screen. Is this clear? So either we can use the term called application. If somebody is saying that which application you are working it or which transaction you are working it, it's one and the same, right? Okay. Okay. Next one, as we said that how to interact with SAP. Okay. So as we see the last, so here once, see here. So this particular SAP menu provides in three folders, the major SAP modules into three different folders, right? So one is functional folders, that is nothing but accounting module, that is nothing but your FI module, CO module, human resource module, and logistics module. Here you can see logistics Okay, what is logistics module? Logistics modules are nothing but directly or indirectly related to goods and services. Directly or indirectly related to goods and services. Those modules are nothing but logistics modules. Clear? What do you mean by logistics module? Logistics modules are nothing but the modules which are directly or indirectly related to goods and services. Goods or services, those modules we call it as a logistics modules. See, like this: material management, sales and distribution, logistics execution, production, right, plant maintenance, customer service, all. Okay, these all modules are directly or indirectly related to, see, you can see here, material, right, sales, right, logistics execution, exclusively for services, production, what we will produce. So all these modules are directly or indirectly. Someone asking, asked you, what are logistics module? One question, probably in layman normally, or what is logistics module? What is logistics module? What are the logistics modules in SAP? What are the logistics module? We can give few examples of this. But what is logistics module? Logistics modules is nothing but the module which interacts directly or indirectly goods and services, or goods or services. Those are called logistics modules. Clear? So next is accounting. This is our area. Okay, here in accounting, again, we have financial accounting, controlling, right? Enterprise. So these are the different finance modules. Okay, these are accounting models, which we are going to this is our cup of tea. We are going to work under this. This is financial accounting and controlling. So FSCM, one module. Okay, in a finance only, but that is not related to FICO. There is a separate module called FSCM module, right? Enterprise controlling module, SEM, strategic enterprise management, investment management, PS, project system. Okay, so these are the different separate modules in FI module. Clear? Any questions here? So next module. Okay, so these are human. Next
So
one.
we will be doing this financial accounting and
So,
controlling, right?
sorry. Our
We will be
area
doing
in
this.
finance also, our area is financial accounting and controlling. These are other separate modules. And we are going to see bank applications also in this particular module. Hope you got my point. Right? In accounting also, we have a different modules are there. But what is the module we are going to work? Popular module, FICO. So these are the small modules, whatever modules you are saying, these all are the small modules which are not relevant to our FICO, even though that is in accounting.
I mean, I have a question.
Yes, please go ahead.
So in real time, would they use this like real estate management and public sector? Would they use this modules in
See, for
real time?
example, I'm into a real estate module. I'm into real estate business. See, clear. So here, instead of, see, in my product is very clear: real estate management. Clear. So I want only that. As I said, that whenever we take complete SAP license, then what we will do, SAP will provide complete end to end all 36 different modules, right? But I'm into only real estate. I don't want to do any like goods or anything. Clear? So at that particular point of time, I can ask SAP consulting team that I'm into real estate management, so I need only configuration. I don't want to do anything with controlling or anything. Then they will configure this real estate management only, instead of having this entire things. Hope you got my point.
Yeah.
That's what, anything like SEM, strategic enterprise management. This is also same. See, I don't want to use all the stuff, but what happens is most of the reports we are going to generate, whatever may be the real estate or whatever may be the SEM, clear, project system, clear. So these are the different modules in accounting only. right? My business, I want to generate reports, financial reports. Then definitely this particular modules need to be integrated with finance and controlling, financial accounting and controlling. As a FICO consultant, it's not required to learn this, but there is a separate team will be there. There is a separate will, SEM consultants, clear, real estate management consultants. So they will configure it and that will be integrated to financial accounting and controlling. So it's not our area. Clear? So again, if your business is doing everything and they need all the financial reports in FICO, then what we will do, we will do the configuration, whatever related to FICO part. And the next, this real estate management consultant will do the required configuration in real estate management according to the client requirement. Then at the end, this real estate management will be integrated with FICO. So for what purpose? They need only the reports. The reports cannot be generated in real estate management, like financial reports, like inflow, outflows, clear, and same time trial balance, positional statement, profit and loss account. So for that particular purpose, this has to be integrated with finance and controlling module.
So,
Any questions?
so this integration, whether it should be done by us only or something they will be taking care of.
There would be, that's what I'm saying. The integration in the sense, FI integration, a few reconciliation accounts will be there, which
Yeah,
is related to real estate management. As a FI consultant, we will create those what we call reconciliation account, and that will be given to real estate management consultant. So that they will update those reconciliation accounts so that it will be get integrated. Both has to do that particular integration part. Hope you got my point. The patch will be done by both.
Okay.
Any other? Okay. So next one we have. So apart from these three, apart from this functional consultant, the major thing will be related to IT people. For example, if you take tools, so this is ABAP workbench, ABAP will work. All these are the technical modules, which is not relevant to us. Okay, major our area, functional consultant area would be, okay, logistics, accounting, human. Okay, and in account, these are three modules, functional modules. Again, we have sub modules in each, logistics, accounting. These are the different modules. Again, in financial accounting also, we have a number of sub modules. So this is our area, right? General ledger, accounts receivable, accounts payable, banks, fixed assets, right? Special purpose ledgers, additional functions, whatever it is there, these all comes under financial accounting part. Okay. Fine. Again, in journal entry, we have so document entry, document account, master records. These are document entry is nothing but posting. Is this clear? Any questions here? So put a heading as an interaction with SAP application or SAP transaction. Write down interaction with SAP screen or okay. Write down the path. We call it as a path. If you are going with the menu, write down the path. SAP menu, write down path. SAP menu. SAP menu. Accounting. Okay, when I'm saying path in the sense, write it down like this. See here. Just I'm giving example. SAP menu. Okay, SAP menu. Accounting. Whenever again and again we are going to use the term called path or navigation. So use do like this. Just write it down as a path for every transaction, for every application. Write it down. Menu. SAP menu. Accounting. Accounting. Financial accounting. SAP menu. Accounting. Financial accounting. General ledger. I'm taking example. That's it. general ledger, general ledger, general ledger, document entry. So for example, and document entry, one second. Okay, again, where's SAP menu, accounting, financial accounting, okay, general ledger, document entry. So here, enter GL account document. Okay, so this is the navigation. For example, I want to write the transaction or post the entry in GL module, right? Then enter GL account document. So double click on enter GL account document. Double click on enter GL account document. Okay, so write it down like this. That's it. Okay, so for example, any company code. Okay, double FB50 or whatever it is. So this is called application now. We are into document entry application. So here FB50. Okay. So here what we can do, we can post the JVs, journal vouchers, journal entries. So this particular screen. Okay. So here we can see the transaction code. So this is the navigation screen, and here you can see transaction codes. These all are standard transaction codes. T codes are transaction codes, the same. So instead of going into navigation screen, path, SAP menu, accounting, financial accounting, general ledger, document entry, enter GL account. So directly we can type this particular transaction code in the command field. This is called command field. So here we can directly type FB50. Right? So this, instead of going navigation, okay, directly we can write in this command field whatever application you want, whatever command you want to enter, whatever T code you want to, whatever transaction code you want, right? So this particular screen directly we can go with the command field, in the command field. Okay, these are standard SAP transaction codes. SAP transaction codes. Across the globe, these transaction codes are fixed T codes. Okay. Any questions here?
No, sir.
Okay. And one more thing. See here, one more thing you need to remember here is anything in SAP, any transaction code or any report, clear, any transaction code or any report which starts with Z or Y. Okay, any transaction code or any reports starts with Z or Y. These are not SAP standard, not SAP standard transaction codes or not SAP standard reports. This is very important. Any transaction which starts with Z or Y, then they are not SAP standard transaction. Those are customized transaction codes or customized reports, right? For example, there is a transaction code called F110. I'm just don't remember write it now, but just I'm telling you F110. This is automatic payment transaction code. APP, automatic payment T code. Okay, but there is a transaction code called SZF110. Here, so this is also automatic payment, but what it is prefixed? What it is prefixed? What it is
Sir.
prefixed?
Z.
Z. What does it mean?
Customized.
By looking at this Z means client require whatever SAP
Customized.
standard was provided, client was okay with that, but he needs some special conditions or special rules. So that ABAPer will develop according to the client requirement, and that particular transaction code will start with Z. Start with Z. Starts with Z. Means by looking at any transaction, you need to understand if it starts with Z, then that is nothing but custom required transaction, user defined transaction, ABAPer developed transaction, ABAPer developed reports, right? So if it is again, then why it is again, there is one more letter called Y. So for example, Y F110. Again, I'm saying this is also not SAP standard one. This is user defined one. Correct? The transaction F110, this is SAP standard. This is SAP standard. Correct? SAP standard. And this is user defined one. This is also I'm saying user defined one. Then what is the difference between these two? Anyone? Any idea? Whoever working? ZF110, YF110? Any idea?
No.
Yes. See, I'll tell you. See, for example, my company code, my company, my head office is in India, for example. My company head of, for example, mine is, for example, Reliance Group of Industries, and which is in India based, which is in India. Okay. But I am having different company codes in different countries. If I say I'm having RG1 in US, okay, RG2, okay, in Canada, okay, RG3 in Singapore, okay, RG4 in Australia. Fine. These are the three different company codes. Okay, three different company codes, and all are having accounts payable department or payments department in all the countries. For this Reliance Group of Industries, we are having all the payment transactions, we are using it. So we have some specific requirement we have. So we have given to ABAPer, so that these are our requirements, which is 10% or 20% more required than whatever SAP standard is providing. To that, we require some special requirements are there. So as a functional consultant, first of all, we will understand that requirement, then we will give it to our ABAPer, and ABAPer will develop that transaction, that report, and hand it over to consultant, and we will test first, we will do the testing, and then next we will give it to end user. So this is across US, CA, whatever, Canada, Singapore, Australia. The payment process is similar. So they can use ZF110. They can use, so whatever ABAPer is developed, ZF110. But unfortunately, I'm having the regional requirements are something different. Okay, SAP standard is not okay, but okay, but same time we have a regional requirement. I want to do some payment differently in US, different in CA, Canada, even though same company, under same company. Okay, Singapore is different and Australia is different. Then if it is globally same, then it will start with Z. Okay, for same company code, same company, under same company with the different company codes, we can use Z. But under same company, we have a different regions, and different regions having different specific requirements. Then those transactions will develop with prefixed letter called Y. Understood? What is the difference between Z and Y? Here, if apart from these two letters, Apart from these two letters, any transaction, any report starts with any letter apart from these two. Those are SAP standard one, which starts with Z or Y. Then Z is nothing but same company under different company codes. These are nothing but globally they are using the same requirement. But here region wise, if requirement get changes, then it will not start with Z, it will start with Y. Same company, different regions, the requirements are different. Is this clear? Any questions here?
Naveen, I have a question.
Please go ahead.
So in F1 10, like we will have a payment method, right?
Correct.
Through payment method, whether this requirement cannot be satisfied.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe or may not be. See, that's what I'm saying. Here, for example, I'm taking only example. This is right. So here probably in payment method, whatever steps we are following in standard. So there are some additional steps are required for my client. SAP standard is providing 10 steps. Okay, but my client required additional 3 more steps. Right? That 3 more steps are not there in SAP standard F110. Then I need to take the help of ABAPer, and that has to be developed. Clear? So then that particular transaction will start with Z. Okay, but here again, same thing. I am having 10 steps. In US, I required 11 steps. In Canada, same company and different company code, I required 12 steps. Here I required 13 steps. Here I required 14 steps. The requirement same under company code, but the requirements are changing. Client requirement as per their what we call country legal requirement or something, it is getting changed. Then it will not start with Z. Then those transaction code will start with Y. Clear? Any questions on this?
Hello, sir.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, this Y starts with Y. So this is reason wise. So it's applicable in India also because Indian currency is same.
Yeah, see, I'll explain what is company and what is company code. Do you have a knowledge? Means I'm asking, do you have a clarity on what is company and what is company code? What is the difference between company and company code?
Kind of, sir.
Sorry. What is the difference between RGI, Reliance Group of Industries? I'm saying it's in India, correct? But okay, I'm having one more company code, RG5 in India.
So here RGI, like it's at client level and remaining all are at company code level.
I didn't get you.
So like RGI India, it's a company, and that company is at client level.
Which
and
one?
remaining
RG1.
RGI.
But what is the difference? RGI, what is the difference?
So we can assign like all these company codes
Sir.
to one company
Why? What is the need?
for reporting purpose.
Correct. Global. See here, books will be maintained. Books of accounts will not be maintained at company level. Books of accounts will not be maintained at, again, we are going to discuss when I say organization structure. So books of accounts will not be maintained at company level. Okay. Books of accounts will be maintained at company code level because the transactions are performed at company code level, not at company level. The day-to-day transactions will not be performed at company level. This will be performed at company code level. Clear? At why we need a company? Because we need all the companies are company codes are maintained by one group only. So I want consolidated reports. Whether if I can get like if I want RG1 is running in profit or loss, then I can generate only the report in under RG1 because the transactions are recorded. And RG2, I want a report, then I can generate in RG2, RG3, RG4 separately. But at the end, these all are working for RGI group. So I want to consult whether I want to see whether RGI is doing good or in running in profit or loss. Then how can I do it? By individually, I can't do it separately. Then for consolidating reporting purpose, we will do the company. Again, I'm telling you, we will do in depth what is company and company code. Clear? Somebody asked, that's the reason I'm explaining at this particular point of time. So here all the regions are different. So probably these two regions are using the same requirement, and these three regions are using different requirements. So even though Z is not it is globally under one particular company code. If they are all company codes are using common, then that is called Z. It will start. But three company codes are using different requirement and two company codes are using different requirement, then that will start with Y. Is this clear? Yes, no?
Kind
So
of,
Naveen,
sir.
in case like RG1 is needing, let's say 10 people in as SAP, and then it is 13 system. So we'll do like YF1, then YF112 like that, or it's like just one?
Sorry, I didn't get you. Can you please come again?
So what I mean is like you say it's Y and Z we use for one, right? So the SAP is providing 10 as standard ones, and we need 3 more customized one, let's say in RG1.
Mhm.
Okay. So RG1, the 3 more like ZF110 and YF110, that's supposed to be.
No, nothing. See, you
Okay,
are
let me
saying
try
that.
explain it again. Let me try explain it again.
Yeah.
So what I mean is, say RG1 needs is 10 transaction codes. Okay. And we have 10 transaction code with us in standard code, which are from SAP.
Mhm.
And now we have to make it, so all three we can make under Y, or it has to be like Y, Z, and something else as well.
No. You have a different, then all we can do in Y, because it's specific for one particular region, right? Whatever may be the requirement.
Okay. So
Clear? This
all
is
will
So
come out
can,
like, let's
so
say,
can, so
Sorry?
can we take an example as, just like, correct me if I'm wrong, RG, we're talking about Reliance Group of Industries, and RG1 is probably the, let's take example that RG1, RG2, and RG3, they all are Indian based. They're based in India, like
Mhm.
our Reliance Groups in airlines, Reliance Groups in telecom, and Reliance Group in petroleum.
Okay.
So then the Reliance Group in petroleum is not using Z, and they're using Y, but Reliance Group in telecom, they're using Z. Is it
Mhm.
correct?
Correct.
Because those are company codes basically who are reporting to a big company organization, which is Reliance, and that's how we will be able to find out is the Reliance Group in total doing good or not. And the only way we can do it when we are running the reports for Reliance Telecom separately, and airline separately, and petroleum separately, and then in total we'll come to know how's the entire Reliance as an organization doing. Is it
Correct.
correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any other?
one more thing, Naveen, sorry
No problem.
to
Please.
interrupt. So like RG1 will be used then both F110, Y1, F110, is it?
No.
Or
Either of
only
this they need to use it.
YF?
Yeah, either of the. See, yeah, okay, they can use F110, but why they are going for Z F110 or Y F110? Because their requirement is not satisfied with the SAP standard provided. Clear configuration. So that's the
So they
reason
will
that
supposed
they are
to
going for
use only one, right?
Sorry,
They will not use both F110 and
that's what I'm saying.
ZF110.
See, if they want use F110, they can use it. Clear? But additionally, they have configured, they have customized one more transaction called ZF110. Clear? So in some cases, client wants to use only F110, clear, or ZF110. But why they have developed ZF110? Because they have additional steps. The client requirement was little additional, which is not satisfying. See, this functionality will not work if I am using ZF110. Absolutely, it will work. F110 will be there because it's SAP standard provided. And same time, additionally, if it is customized, then this particular transaction code also will be there. If the client wants, this one wants to use it, okay, they can use it. But sometimes, in some cases, 1.2, 1% or 2% cases, they want to use F110, they can use it. Both will
Sir,
use.
just a simple question when we're talking about F and Z and Y. So like if anybody's running a company says, I want my my requirement is let's use ZF110.
Mhm.
Now, two questions out of this. What is the benefit they're getting it going out of the way instead of using F110? Let's use ZF110. What is the benefit?
That's what I'm saying. F1, again, I'm telling you, F110 is providing you only SAP standard, means across the globe, whatever businesses are using. Okay, according to that, the configuration is provided in F110.
Correct.
Hope you got my point, right?
Correct.
But my company, out of 99 companies, it is getting satisfied. But 1% company, one company having a separate requirement, right? Which whatever steps are there in F110, but that is not able to satisfy, not able to fulfilling my requirement, the client requirement. So for that additional steps, what the client will come, okay, this is not, we don't require only this much, we have some more additional requirements are there, which is not, we are not able to, F110 standard, F110 is not fulfilling it. So for that, we need to customize it. So that is the benefit that the client can, according to client, we can modify the transaction or reports.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. So please show the F11 app.
I can't show you right now because just I'm giving you the whatever transaction, as I said that.
Take example this FB50 at least.
What FB50? See here, FB50 is the transaction, right? This is the transaction.
Yes.
FB50, correct?
Yeah,
We
here.
don't have a ZFB. This is FB50, right?
Yes,
I can't
correct.
show you because we have not customized. We don't have a ABAPer as if we are in training version, right? We can't do ABAPer requirement here. We can't develop ABAPer requirement in this particular training environment. So I can't show you that if it is, see here.
So sir, how is that process also going on? I can't understand.
I didn't understood your question. See, what I just told is, just I have given in real time, there is a few transactions which starts with Z and few transactions starts with Y. And who will develop this Z and Y part?
ABAPer?
Is that our responsibility?
No.
Right? So, but what I'm saying, as a FI consultant or a CO consultant, what you need to understand is it's not our part, development of the Z or Y. I'm giving a clarity, additional clarity, stating that you will find in your real time, few transactions are, you will find in Z and you will find in Y. So what is Z? This is not SAP standard transactions, which is developed by ABAPer according to the requirement of your client. Right? Again, the difference between both Z and Y means Z is whatever company codes are there in under one company. If they are, the requirement is same, additional requirements are same under for all the company codes, then they will develop Z. Okay. If what under one company code, different under one company, different company codes, the requirements are different. The requirements are different. So instead of using Z, what they will use, if the company code, it is working under RGI, it is RG2, it is under RGI, RG3, it is under RGI only. So here the company code, the requirement of payment transaction is different of RG1, RG2, RG3. Then they won't develop, the ABAPer will not develop as in Z F110. He will give prefix with a letter called Y. Means under one company, different company codes, they're having for one particular transaction, they have a different requirements. Then the ABAPer will develop with Y. So if you want to check here in standard SAP, right, you are asking me to show, but it will not show here. It won't work because we don't have, see here, the same transaction, whatever I said, F110, you can see. Clear, this is F110. If the same ZF110, ZF110, if I want to show, you won't find it. This is not SAP standard. See here. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Because
sir,
the
got
ABAPer
I
it.
want to give clarity on, don't see, this is not our part of job, development part. That's what I want to say. Clear. We will gather the information and we will give it to the ABAPer. He will develop. That's his headache. But as a consultant, if you attend any interview, what is the customized transaction code letter starts with? They will ask you only this. So we need to say that any customized, even people doesn't know about why. Again, I'm telling you, only they will know Z transactions, Z reports. Clear. What does it mean? Any transaction which starts with Z, letter Z, prefixed with Z, then that is nothing but customized report, customized transaction, which is not in SAP standard. But I have taken an additional example, the latest one, Y report and Y transactions. Y in the sense, what is the Y difference? Y is nothing but if each company code is having a different requirements under one group of company, then the ABAPer will give a letter Y. So by looking at that word letter Y, if 5 company codes are there, for same transaction, they have a different requirements. Then he will prefix with Y. That's what I want to tell you. But I can't show you at that particular, not in this particular moment, not in future also, in training environment. But in real time, maybe you will get it. But it's not, as a consultant, FICO consultant, it's not your job to develop Z transactions or Z reports or Y transactions or Y reports. That is a ABAPer headache.
Got it, sir.
But why I am saying is, as a FI consultant, at least we need to have, what do you mean by Z? So because they will ask you in interview, have you ever worked on Z reports or Z transactions? So Z in the sense, they won't ask you that. Have you ever worked on customized reports, customized transactions? They won't directly ask.
Sir, they asked me what is the process of the customizing reports.
The procedure
Process.
That's what I'm saying.
Explain the process.
I'm saying you, that's what we will take the requirement of client, correct? That is the first step. And we
just
will
only communication with the mail or what? Just only phone communication or
let
with
me
mail?
finish. Let me finish first. Okay. First, we will gather the, see, again, we are coming back to first one. Do you remember as is and we have done to be documentation?
Yes, yes.
As is document, what we will do?
As is previous legacy
Correct.
system.
The same thing. What is the standard SAP is there? First, we will take from the customer client the requirement. Then next we will check whether SAP standard is providing the same thing or not. Right. And after that, if it is not same, then what we will do? To be. We will prepare to be documentation, how it will be. And the requirement is not matching with SAP standard, then that requirement we will give it to ABAPer. Clear? Once ABAPer, we will give it to ABAPer. ABAPer at the backend, he will develop. He will develop in a programming language called ABAP, right? Once he develop the screens, ZF110 screen, then, and he will update us. So updating, that could be any way. That don't ask me that, is it in email communication? Maybe email communication, or maybe in ticketing tool, or anything that is internal related things, right? The communication could be anything. That would be either a meeting, clear, or that would be through ticketing, or anything that could be internally. Clear? So they will have any company will have a stand-up calls for any project. Stand-up calls in the sense everyday calls. So the requirement we will gather, we will present that into whatever internal communication tool we are using. In that communication tool, all the functional consultants and all the technical consultants will be involved, and sometimes client will also involve. Right? We will take the requirements, and we will, whatever requirements we have gathered, that requirements we will update to ABAPer, and ABAPer will take and he will say that this could be tentative time. We can update the screens and we will give it back. And once they have developed, then as a functional consultant, we will test it. As a functional consultant, we will test it. And after testing, if it is everything fine, then we will present to customer. Nothing but your client. If it is satisfied, then we will onboard that particular process to production system.
Naveen, rather thinking as it is very complicated, we can make it in simple steps. Like, for example, if I have a company, then my requirement is not,
Which is
hello?
not matching, not
Not
matching.
matching. For example, if I'm using any T code, like any T code, that in that field, my requirement is something different, which is not matching with the regular transaction. Then we can apply and we can ask special scenario, like we can ask them to build up with any YT code or ZT code as per our requirement. So in that we can use based upon our requirement, we can use that T code with
Z or Y.
whatever, yeah, Z or Y details,
So
right?
she understood that.
Huh.
Her question was how the communication will flow, right? Through email or what? I said that would be again dependent, again company to client, it would be, you can say that whatever client I was work, the flow will be, I used to take a requirement from customer. We have a stand-up calls every day. So in that stand-up calls, all the consultant, functional and as well as the technical consultants used to involve, and we used to do a documentation. Again, that could be documentation, it will be we can do it in Word documentation or Excel or whatever it is, or PPT or whatever it is. So that will be given to ABAPer. According to, by checking that in the next call, they will update that by this time we will develop this application. So once it is developed, then that will be given to testing for us, to consultants, right? Once it is done, then we will show it to our client at the end, and if they are satisfied, then we will move to that patch, will be moved to production. So again, that could be an email, that could be a ticketing tool. They won't ask that are you used to email part, or are you used to ticketing tool. That company to company, it is a different. We can't take a call that stating that my company is using an email, another company is using only their teams, another company is using any other communication way.
Then consultant will be aware what is happening, and is now like like he's aware, like they are setting up any specialty code that is required by the
See,
company.
we are only giving, right?
Yeah.
We are only giving. We need to aware of that, right? So in the stand-up call, we will involve. We are taking the requirement from customer, right? Functional consultant. We are going to take the requirement and we will give it to ABAPer. Hope you got my point.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Got it, sir. Got it.
Okay, but still we will see this. But again, I'm not promising you that I'll show you ZF110, F5, because these are end user activities. Okay, the configuration I'll show you, but how would ABAPer will write a code? That's not our job. That's what I want to say.
Okay, sir. No problem.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So apart from this, what are the standard SAP transaction code? As I said, that 65,000 transaction, more than 65,000 transaction codes are standard. And like that, how many transaction code according to customer requirement we can develop? There is no limit for that. There is no limit. Any number of Z transactions, any number of Y transactions, any number of Z reports, any number of Y reports, we can develop according to the client requirement. That is what I want to say. Fine. But you need to have a knowledge what is F or what is Z and what not F. Apart from these two letters, any report, any transaction are nothing but SAP standard transactions, SAP standard reports. And these are nothing but customized transactions, customized reports if it starts with Z and Y. Fine.
Yeah, got it.
Yes, sir. Got it.
So normally, what is F here? Most of the transactions, finance transaction, most, again, I'm not saying all. Okay. Most of the finance transactions starts with F. Most 95% transactions which starts with F is nothing but finance transactions. And most of the if the transaction starts with M, MIRO, ME23N, clear, MIGO. So that is nothing but which starts with M. Again, I'm not saying all. Most of the transactions which starts with M, then that is nothing but MM module, material management module. Material management module. Clear? So like that, we can segregate these things. So if it starts with F, you are working under FB60 or F-02 or F-07, then it means that F is nothing but it's related to finance. Clear? Any questions?
So last final question.
Yes, please.
This customizing is used for only reporting purpose, means their requirement
Transactions, I
is
said, right?
transaction also.
That's what I said. The F110 is transaction, right?
Yes, yes. F110 is transaction.
Transaction. It's not a reporting.
Yeah. Most of them means customizing. They required means FBL1, FBL3, and
That's
this
what.
reporting purpose. They are mostly using the customizing.
Exactly. Again,
Not-
that's a client. Again, yeah.
Again, client requirement.
Yes. See, again,
Okay,
so
thank you,
sometimes
sir.
they may have transaction level and as well as a reporting level also. Okay.
Got it, sir. Thank you.
Right. MM related transactions which starts with M. Right. So here, do we need to remember all the transaction codes? Okay.
Nope.
Do we remember all the transaction codes?
I don't think so,
Absolutely.
sir.
Absolutely not. Again, I'm telling you. But again, I'm going to tell you what are the important transaction code as a consultant. Clear? We need to remember as a consultant. We need to remember. I'll stress this is the important transaction code which we need to remember. Clear? So again, I'm telling you. See, most of the transactions we can remember when we do 100% practice. Here again, I'm reiterating, practice is the only solution to remember everything. As I said, that SAP is a huge, vast subject. Okay, but each and everything, any consultant in real time also, all the consultant will have end-to-end knowledge. Absolutely not. At initial level, we need to have. Why? Because we need to crack the interview. We need to work on the production environment. So we need to have that particular knowledge. But in real time, all the consultant will have the complete end-to-end knowledge. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Clear? Any questions on this? Any questions on this?
No, sir.
Right? So again, I'll stress whenever and wherever we need to remember what are the transaction codes we need to remember. I'll stress it. So just put a star mark and focus more on that. Here, no consultant will have. They may have a knowledge, but they won't remember the transaction code or navigation path or something else. End to end, they don't know. No consultant will have 100% knowledge on this. Clear? According to the project, according to the requirement, we need to pitch in because we have a knowledge because we have done the course or we have involved in different projects. So we will have a knowledge on that. But at that particular point of time, do we need, we will get it back in the sense, it's little challenge. But few things, definitely few configuration steps, few steps we need to remember 100%. So that we are going to stress in each and every class. This is very important. This is very important. This is very important. So according to that, that's the reason I'm asking you to write a note so that you can put a star mark and at the time of your reference, right, you can remember that without any problem. Right? And that is also again not possible with 1 to 2 practices. At least minimum requirement is, again I'm telling, more than 10 times. More than 10 times we need to practice. Then again 11th time without any recording, without any steps, you can explain your other people without any problem. Again I'm telling you, without any problem. You can explain the other person, or you can do end to end without any problem. Step you won't stuck anywhere. And one more thing, again, I'm sorry, before this thing, before call it for today, what I want to say is, see, we are working under a remote, for example, few people are working, we have taken a remote access, correct? Server access, remote server access. Sometimes if the data is more in that particular server, in whatever remote server access, probably I'm showing the steps to you people and you have written completely and you've started practicing by listening to the recording and as well as along with your notes. So sometimes what happens is whatever procedure we are following in the class, you are doing in the same way. Okay. And whatever we got output in class. Okay. But sometimes you will get some sort of error messages. So 99% possibility why you will get the error message in practice environment, in the sense, for example, your server is having full data. It's fully overloaded. At that particular point of time, what server will do is server will throw errors. Server will throw errors. It's the same steps we are following. The same way we are following it. Same configuration I did it. What I in the class I'm doing, the same way at my practice I'm doing in the same way, but I'm getting errors. Clear? So don't get confused. If you are getting some errors, give some time, and again after an hour or after 2 hours or after a day, do the same configuration. Okay, if you are getting the same error, then we will discuss in the classroom. Then I'll tell you, like, this error you are getting because of configuration issue or the server issue. So at that particular, if it is a server issue, then you can contact the server provider. Clear? So that he can refresh the data. Once the data is refreshed, automatically your errors will be vanished. But in real time, that will not happen. That's not going to be happen, because it will have only one. Because why it is remote access, in the sense that particular access will be given to any number of users. Any number of users. So that's the reason we may get issues, because some person will do something, some person will do something, some person will do something. But in real time, it's not like that. It will be a fresh server that will be dedicatedly given to that particular company itself. So whatever steps we follow correctly, then definitely you will get the correct output. Is this clear? Yes, no?
Yes, yes.
So actually I thought to complete this particular part, but okay, it's not an issue. So I will continue tomorrow session. So once I'll share the recording, just try to listen, because don't get confused. Again, I'm reiterating Z and Y part. Just try, just I'm giving for your knowledge sake, because 100% in interview they may ask the different. They won't ask difference. Have you ever worked on Z reports or Z transactions? That's it. If you mention any implementation project in your resume, then they will ask, have you ever worked on Z? Clear? So that is called a Z reporting or anything. Means nothing but what does it indicate? Have you ever worked on Z, in the sense, have you ever collaborated? Have you ever worked along with the ABAP consultant? That's what. So I'll give you example at the end, at the time of interview, mock interviews. I'll tell you what sort of questions you are going to get and what are the answers you need to give for this particular steps. Clear? That I'll share it and that I'll explain, because I can't show you the practical over here, because it's not a real-time server. It's a training server, right? And we don't have 3 servers here. We have only 1 server. We need to categorize it into same development server, quality server, and production server. Fine. Any questions?
No.
No, fine.
Okay,
No.
thank you. And again, one more request, same time, park your questions in the middle, whatever you get it. Clear? Whenever I'll ask, is it okay? But park your question if possible. Last 15 minutes, whatever 7:45 to 8, we can erase those concerns.
Sure.
Hope you got my point, because see, initial level, you will have a lot of questions. I accept it. That's the reason initial classes, I'll go damn slow, because these particular things, if it's not clear for you, then definitely the challenges will come when we start our practical part. Because I came from the same background. If I'm not able to get the clarity on the basic part, SAP is at least completely literature part. Again, people think that it's only practical. No, if you are clear with your literature part, then definitely you won't find any challenges at the time of practice. Again, I'm telling you, because again, the thing is, whatever we are learning here, at least we should be in a position to explain the opposite people. That is the most important criteria here. Is that fine? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very
Yep,
much.
yep.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank you.